What's going on, guys? It's Karth, and today is going to be a little bit of a rant style of video. I'm not going to lie. I'm just going to kind of get right into it. I'm a little bit upset with Blizzard. It's hopefully about 3 months out from the Burning Crusade, and we haven't really gotten much information regarding pre-patch or boosts that are going to be available, or really anything about the future of Anniversary, or where TBC might be heading, or the phase cadence of TBC, or anything like that. I used to be kind of a fan of the mystery that they would put behind like expansion releases and that sort of like hype drama, like drumming up hype and stuff like that. But honestly, in 2025, I think a lot more players are a lot more concerned about like making plans, or at least having some form of like notice that's not like a 2-week pre-patch that's like, hey, we're gonna go straight from pre-patch into the TBC, like have fun. Like, I mean, I don't know, that's, to me, that's just a little bit frustrating. I wish that Blizzard would be a little bit more forthcoming with information, like just tell the player base about TBC. Like, I think with the first week of Naxx being out especially, people have kind of had sort of some shocking realizations about the difficulty of Naxx. I know like in 2019 people kind of experienced this as well, but one thing that's going to be different is Naxx is going to be much shorter in Anniversary. People are only going to have 13, 14 lockouts maybe of like non-pre-patch Naxxramas, and that's not a lot. That's not a lot of time to do Naxx for some guilds. And I people would definitely appreciate some timeline references as to like, hey, how much time do we have to clear the content, or how much time do I have to wait until TBC? Like, can I take some time off work if you're that type of player? Can I maybe like get my character set up and prepared with preloading quests or leveling characters, or how long the pre-patch duration might be? Like, all this information is stuff that like Blizzard should put out to the community. I think it's kind of unnecessary to like hype up expansions, especially like TBC, because while I think the expansion is very good, we already went through this. Like, we've already gone through this whole like progression classic once, and it's not like people don't know what expansion comes out after vanilla, or even after TBC. Like, there's been sort of a weird classic community split recently of like people moving over to Ascension's new project. Like, I think it's called Bronzebeard. I don't personally play on it, but I really think that Blizzard would do themselves a favor if they dropped release dates for like classic players, because in the history of classic, they've actually been pretty bad with communication, to say the least, about like classic launches and stuff like that. And I wish that they would put the stuff out. And then also talking a little bit about like Classic Plus, I think it's been kind of an overblown meme, I guess is the word I would say. Like, I don't want to really call Classic Plus a meme, but I think that like people have been talking about Classic Plus since like TBC released in 2021. I mean, like, people have been begging for this like vanilla with extra stuff added onto it for a while now, and while I think they are working on it, I think it's very like back burner type of stuff. There was also the whole controversy that was sort of resolved by Agrand when they talked about the Titan Reforged realm that China's getting. That's kind of this like weird combination of vanilla, TBC, and Wrath that are like kind of jumbled together. I don't personally think it would be like my favorite version of WoW if I played it, but I also don't think it's like a terrible idea. With that all being said, like I really think that Blizzard would do themselves a favor if they were to like give timelines for Classic specifically. Now Classic Plus I kind of understand a little bit. Blizzard in the past has delivered unfinished product when it comes to World of Warcraft because of timelines, and I think they sort of moved away from that model because of like the backlash they would get about unfinished products. So I get that for like retail and maybe for progression like MOP Classic. Maybe I kind of understand that, but for like Anniversary, we've already went through this whole dance once. And for me personally as a content creator, like, you know, if I had like a beta or a PTR or something like that that I could do, it would drastically help me for making content instead of like me having to try and do class guides and stuff like that, kind of bare bones on like old footage or stuff like that. Like allowing me to have like a beta content or like a beta would allow me to actually record footage of other class guides instead of me trying to do it as like a death by PowerPoint type of thing. I know I talked about that in my last class guide on the Warrior. It's not the exact format I want to use in that video. I'm still kind of like learning a little bit as to how exactly I want to format those videos. But definitely having a beta would help me out a lot. Now obviously there's some discussions that have been had that we won't even necessarily have a beta. I don't think that's the most unreasonable take, especially like I said, we have done TBC already, but Blizzard has shown in the past as well that like even small changes to the client present issues like on the back end that aren't like picked up. So I don't think a beta would necessarily be the worst idea either. But to kind of tie all this together and sort of close out this whole this whole rant video, I know it's a little bit like me just kind of raging a little bit, but you know, I think the community, at least from what I've read on like Reddit and stuff like that, like there's been a lot of like TBC waiting room energy. It's the last phase of vanilla, and Nax kind of has stonewalled quite a few guilds from what I can tell. Like besides like some of the big name guilds, like not a lot of people are like clearing really fast or clearing week 1, blah blah blah, which did happen in 2019 like I said, but like they had double the time to clear the content than we will. And I think the community would be much happier or much more satisfied if they knew like, hey, this is when TBC is actually dropping, so people can start prepping characters instead of like, you know, being in this position where it's like, well, do I play Nax and like kind of stonewall myself, or can I like park my characters or start prepping characters for TBC instead of like, you know, being in this weird sort of lull space. Now, am I like saying, oh, like TBC is not going to come out for like 5-6 months? No, TBC is coming out, in my prediction, pre-patch probably mid to late January, and then expect launch early to mid February is my current prediction. There'll be 13-14 resets of Nax in current content, and then a few more resets in pre-patch, and then people will head through the dark portal, excuse me. And yeah, that's where I thrive, man. I've enjoyed this fresh. I don't think it's been like a bad experience or anything like that, but I'm ready to head into the TBC. I have a hunter, warrior, shaman, and mage ready to go. I intend to have a warlock and possibly a second warrior and second hunter as well. I'm sort of trying to mill around in my head what exactly I want like all my character lists to look like. And then one other thing that I'm going to tack on now. I did not want to talk about this on my YouTube channel. I just want to put that out there. I don't want to talk about GDKPs on this YouTube channel. I don't want to make content about it. I don't want to give like, you know, anyone like a positive or negative like remark on GDKPs. All I will say is I think it would be nice if Blizzard actually told us exactly what they were going to do. Now, the only reason I bring that up is because someone on Wowhead posted an article referencing whether they're going to bring GDKPs back in TBC Anniversary, and I'm not giving my opinion on GDKPs, yes or no, but I will say I would like to know whether they're going to put GDKPs back in the game. I think just like as an overarching theme, man, like I really wish Blizzard would be more forthcoming with information. I don't understand the purpose of this whole like mysterious sort of unnecessary hype drumming mentality. It's not good. It's not necessary. People have already done this whole song and dance back in 2019. They'll probably do it again in like 5 years, and then they'll probably still freaking not tell us when phases are coming out and stuff like that. Like it's 2025. People got shit to do. I know I've got like busy stuff going on in my personal life, and people want to know so that they can like plan around it, whether it be in game or out of game. But yeah, guys, that's my Blizzard rant video. But I do intend to start resuming some class guides here in the next coming weeks. I've still just been, like I said, kind of busy. My life's kind of been in a weird state, just kind of waiting for certain stuff to happen. Like I'm still trying to plan around certain things IRL that I don't know I don't have control over all the factors. But like I said, I'll try to get back on those class guides. I know you guys voted for Druid next, so I'll do that one up and coming. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and TBC Hype Train, like I said, and like and subscribe for more content. Peace out.